All right, welcome. Happy New Week and welcome to a fresh edition this week on the program, The Law, the People and Governance here on Spectrum Television. Well, this is a program already that exists to bridge the gap between the government and the people, and of course, takes the people's feedback back to the government as well. It's been a great time in the history of Nigeria. Of course, this is the electioneering, a time we've been waiting for to change the leaders who had driven us for 8 years and, of course, place a brand new one, the people's choices. Of course, we've had so many tussles, so many ups and downs, so many games, political games anyway. And Nigeria is seizing this moment to make a strong decision. And we're hopeful it's the right decision, a decision that will drive us for the next 4 years. So we have to make a good decision. Well, my name is Rachel David White, and today on the program, The Law, the People and Governance, we'll be talking about the preparedness of political parties and, of course, INEC as well. As Saturday is a day that Nigerians will place a governor. Each state in Nigeria will, of course, put a governor in a position to drive us for another 4 years. So I really need to say that this is a moment that Nigerians have to take very important and, of course, to make the right decisions. Okay, so in the course of this program today, I will be talking to someone that I like to say, he has words in his mouth. Yeah, he's Mr. Bernard Titus. He's the coalition officer for the just concluded presidential election for the Labour Party. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you once again.
No, thank you.
Okay, so this time looks like you're more relaxed.
I am.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at a whole lot of things today. And of course, last week your party had a conference. And then we'll take a look at the outcome of the conference. And your party, the principal of your party, the Labour Party, in the person of Peter Obi, and of course that of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, have taken the case to court because they claim that they won the election. So if the PDP won and the Labour Party won, well, of course, INEC says the APC won. Nigeria has elected a new president in the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and we're very much aware that Peter Obi is not in acceptance with that. According to him, he won with clear margin, but there was some issues or some rigging. Yeah, let's put it rigging that emerged. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as the president-elect of Nigeria. So that case is currently in court. Well, recently, of course, INEC has asked election petition court to vary the orders. Okay, they had granted to Obi, to inspect the materials. So let's start from there, and of course, we'll also get to the conference. We'll talk about the outcome of the conference as well.
Last week I highlighted the broad issues here. And then I said, firstly, the INEC has completely failed the citizens because...
when you say completely failed, it sounds like they haven't done anything
completely,
right.
Because his action or their actions didn't or never match with their word and the confidence that the Nigerian people had, the hope bestowed in them.
Of course, they gave us a strong assurance as well.
Strong assurance. And I remember the INEC chairman citing various states, Ekiti, various states he has, done incredibly well with the beavers and high rev. So we had believed with the whole analysis that he has put in place that definitely when it comes to the 774 LGAs in the country, that we're going to have, a level playground,
of course,
where transparency with the beavers,
people have a choice, the right to make a choice.
The people choices must be reflecting. It should have been reflected in the just concluded election, but sadly, that the reverse was the case. So, like I said last week, the people know who won the just concluded election, and I am on that same position that I stand where Peter Obi stands. Whatever is his decision for me, and as a citizen, a concerned citizen, who I voted for Peter Obi, and I didn't fight to vote. I didn't have issue with anybody. It was my PVC, and I expected that my PVC should have been validated and gave me what I voted for.
Okay,
and the reverse is now the case.
Let me put you there. Now, you voted for Peter Obi, and then you wanted him to become the winner. Now, another person voted for Bola Asiwaju Tinubu and expected him to be the winner. Another person also voted for Kwankwaso. Another person voted for PDP, of course, Atiku Abubakar, and expected him to be the winner.
Sorry to cut you. If we want to go to, if the inspection will be done thoroughly, it will be so shocking to the Nigerians that Kwankwaso in the north. I mean, if you check the margin they give to Kwankwaso, it's quite appalling.
Well, that's true.
So it's quite appalling. So invariably, it means Kwankwaso never campaigned. He didn't do anything.
Oh,
but we saw the massive turnout in his campaign. Each time he goes for campaign. So all of a sudden, a man who had such crowd were given 2, 3 in the core northern state where he's from. So if that is the case, what is the determining factor that the Bola Ahmed Tinubu won the election? One, they rigged elections. Like I stated here, allegedly that the INEC chairman was bribed with billions of naira.
Wow.
And
yeah,
secondly,
time.
And then secondly, the will of the people must be reflected, because that is exactly what the people, 95% of the young people in this country did vote for Peter Obi. 95, right? And if we must put that in context to if that truly validate the people's choice, it's quite sad that we are where we are because our political gladiators have always wanted us to believe that they will always give us what they want, not what we want.
Okay.
So that is a true circumstance of the case. And then Peter, we have approached the court, and then there are about thousands of lawyers, that are willing to offer their services on this matter. Okay,
but a report says Labour Party has hired over 20 senior advocates of Nigeria.
Most of them are coming to do the voluntary services.
Okay.
He isn't paying anybody. He isn't paying anybody.
People are not giving shishi.
That's the word. That's what. So we are waiting. Nigerians are waiting for Peter Obi to be for the court to upturn the malicious imposement of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
That brings me to the point where I think I asked last time, what in a country where the court is a place where election can be easily rigged, because we've cited the case of Ahmed Lawan, we've cited the case of, you talked about Godswill Akpabio, you've cited the case of the Oshun polls and a whole lot of that. So now, what at that point would you say that, okay, if the court says oh, Tinubu is still the winner, would you go home happy?
I told you earlier, I watched a video clip a few minutes ago. A young lady said there's no point for her to leave because she voted for somebody whom she believed, and then for the past how many days now she's been going mentally, psychologically destabilized. I can tell you, young people in this country won't be happy with the outcome. And like I said, if the court refused to upturn the election and possibly give us a rerun, let me speak for myself, for instance. I don't have a president in this country. I will wait patiently until the day Peter Obi, God will give us a man who will drive the sector of this country, who will build policies that will be beneficiary to all people, who will make all the economic sectors thrive, where young people will be gainfully employed, where facilities will be made in place for young people to gain more valid skills. Because let me give you an instance. Some of the courses we do in the universities are academic approach. The companies and organizations are looking for well-experienced individuals to employ.
The plug and play.
So how do you absorb thousands of young people that are graduating on a year in, year out? So if you're not willing to absorb so that they can have on-the-job training, get to learn better, do better, where do you want them to get the skill from? Thirdly, there should also be some levels of apprenticeship system program like the both do have, where young people can go. How many of our vocational colleges are functional today? It's quite appalling, because the colleges were a basic foundation for where people to learn crafts, various crafts. And once you are out, you can definitely have a practical life job skill and have, if you are given a grant, it's easier for you to use the little grant and better your life. Now, are there grants that are easily accessible for young people to get? Where are they? The banks will give you rigorous to have a loan of about 10 million. You have to go through a lot of scrutiny. If possibly the bank will come finance that, because the banks will come finance, expecting in a couple of years there's going to be a turnover for them to also make profit and win-win for everybody. Where are the capital? Where are the seed fund for young people to get it done? Entrepreneurial environment. Where are the environment for young people to strive? We don't have electricity. Is messed up completely.
That's you going to all the sectors of the economy in Nigeria.
So invariably, whoever becomes the president of the nation determine the well-being of our lives.
But your strong, should I say, belief and faith is according to the blueprint of the manifesto of Peter Obi himself, right? Because I wanted to ask, what makes you so sure that Peter Obi is right for Nigeria? Of course, we've had leaders who come in and they're promising the take back to the days when Nigeria wanted change. Nigeria wanted change so much that they were quick to vote Jonathan out to absorb Buhari, who came with Tinubu campaigning for him, promising electricity and promising all the good things of life, which never even happened. So Nigeria had to change, the true change they wanted. Maybe I think at that point they should have paused to ask what kind of change. Was it going to be positive or was it going to be negative?
I agree with you, because at that point there were a lot of issues confronting Jonathan administration. So our political fathers sold Buhari to us through the APC national chairman at the time, founding father that brought the major of the APC, Habib Mola Tinubu. And I remember vividly in most of the clips and videos in the campaign, he said that students will be given loan.
A whole lot.
No, a whole lot.
We're going to have electricity,
a whole lot.
A free flow.
And then thereafter, 8 years later, students have received a loan where the students are in US, right? So Nigerian people are now in US. Virtually all the students in this country are in US, courtesy Bola Tinubu's student loan policy. Where are the promises? And it's quite also sad that most of us have forgotten, Nigerians have forgotten most of the promises he made. He brought Tinubu, he brought Buhari, sold him across the length and breadth of the state, and then got him elected. And then we said Jonathan was an half-baked, sorry for my phrase. I am wondering, a man, I quite agree that we say governance with, we can't compare politics and governance, quite agreed. Now, a man with that levels of intelligence who has, well exposed, they said he wasn't sound enough. And then they brought a military man from a military background whom Idiagbo in their time helped to strengthen his administration. And then we believe he was going to give us the better society where we could have, at least light for young people to do business. At the end of the day, what happened? Our brothers, kids, citizens were at home, students for almost a year. No, the institutions were not working. Virtually all the institutions were down. As if we were in a war. So, what happened again? They brought in Hamid, and he came in with the popular phrase, Emiloko, that he is his turn.
Okay. Let me ask this question before you go there now. Okay, according to you, Tinubu sold Buhari to the Nigerians. So do you think this was a time for Buhari to also sell back Tinubu to Nigerians? In all fairness, Buhari didn't really get himself involved in most of their campaigns.
if I must say, he didn't get himself involved, because at the point too, the man was, what is this man saying? In most often time when he's campaigning, he was off completely. And it's sad that young people too who are glamoring and clapping at each of this campaign tour, and I often wonder what exactly is he saying. Okay,
let's not go there.
So but however is the case, like I said, if the court refused to upturn and let the right thing be done, because Peter Obi won 2023 general election that was conducted in this country. He won it, and whatever the INECs are trying to do with the beavers, and I'm saying they better keep those beavers intact without erasing anything, so that Nigerian can see exactly what went wrong with the beavers. Now, would they say, in the election is coming on Saturday, would the high ref and the beavers now work for us to have to upload and transmit the result now?
Okay, we're going to that part because INEC has asked court to, allow them to reconfigure beavers for March 11th. Well, before we get there, I'd like to invite the people, our viewers right now, that they can be part of the conversation by calling the number displayed on their TV screen. Feel free to join the conversation, send us a WhatsApp message or a text message to be part of the conversation. We're talking about political parties and, of course, INEC's preparedness for the upcoming governorship elections in Nigeria. Well, coming back to you. Now, Nigerians have this belief that democracy in Nigeria was, would I say, rigged way back 2006 in the days of Obasanjo, okay, when Morris was the INEC chairman. Just a moment, let's take a call. We'll come back to that. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you.
I'm Ruben calling from Makodi.
Ruben, please turn down the volume of your TV set. All right, go ahead and talk to us.
You see, the last elections were very credible, peaceful, and credible. You understand?
In your end?
The INEC chairman spoiled everything when he said that we can go to court. So we should expect her during the governorship elections, because these governors will come out. I'm telling you, they will come out and do anything.
No, we can't expect. So we can't expect hell. Nigeria is a peaceful place.
But with what that man said, what should we expect at the coming elections?
Of
course,
course,
will do anything and they will ask you to go to court.
Nigerians' eyes are open, so I'm sure that there will be no hell. We'll try to do something right and maybe hold INEC accountable this time. Thank you so much, Ruben. All right, so coming back to you. Well,
are we truly going to will INEC truly be held accountable? That's a big question that Nigeria need to answer.
Okay, well, I think at this point, I would say let's give them a try. Okay, maybe with our eyes wide open this time. Like I said, okay. Before going to that point, let's get back to Nigeria's democracy. We're back 2006. So when Nigerians feel that the issue of forcing a leader on the people didn't just begin today. I mean, we had Obasanjo giving the late Yaradua to Nigerians. Well, Nigerians claim that wasn't the people's choice, that that's a point where they would say democracy really had issues. We had issues with Nigeria's democracy way back that time. But just before you come to that, let's take another call. Hello, good evening. We lost that call. Hope another one is coming, so go ahead.
You see, the first leaders we had, like the Azikwe's and Tafawa Balewa, they had a clear blueprint of where this country, where they wanted the nation, where they wanted to drive this country to. But I think the Second Republic and the third people that took over from 1999 again messed it up. Obasanjo, I'm glad that he's making a profound position today, and he's trying to, play that founding father figure that we've expected him from the beginning. And I quite agreed with your postulation earlier. He laid the foundation to what it is today. He brought the late Gerard Dwa. And I remember when the people said Gerard Dwa at the time was receiving treatment in the foreign nation. And he made a phone call and said, and I quote, "Are you still alive? I've been told you are dead." And the late Gerard responded that he's alive. So, and I quite agree with most of the analysts everywhere that keep saying, before you aspire for any political office in this country, let's have your medical report. And all aspirants must be subject to scrutiny. Debate must be given a top priority in this country. Debate must be given a top. We've seen how the whole presidential debate went. Most of them boycott, and in fact, most of them started hosting their own personal debate platform where their question will be well censored and asked. So that's the problem of the country. And the young people too, we are also part of the problem. We are part of the problem.
At what point would you say the young people are the problem?
Good. So, can we truly say that the just concluded election, that the let's call them the four major candidates, name them, Kwankwaso, Asiwaju, and Atiku, and Peter Obi. Can we truly put them in perspective and evaluate their policies and who truly would have led this nation correctly?
Okay, just a moment. Let's take a call. We'll come back to that. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, please turn down the volume of your TV set. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay, this is Pastor Westeke from Lokoja.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, regarding the nation we started, I know that the electorate is encouraged to go and cast their vote with the faith that God will always vindicate them. Because if they do not go, then they will still allow the bad ones to go in and cast their vote. So I get them encouraged to try and be there. God is on our side. He will definitely make us rejoice because He will give us the leader that will make us to rejoice and not the one that will make us to mourn. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think I stand positive on our caller's side. That's a word for Nigerians. That should have come as the last words. But go ahead.
So I was saying, if we put the four of them in perspective, and I quite agree that you are free to support any credible individual that possibly philosophy aligned to who your worldview, what you represent. If we put the four of them in perspective, in line with their track record up to date, who truly meets your need? Peter will meet mine. His aspiration aligned with what I believe to save this nation from the shackle where we're in. Right? So, and I read a comment earlier today where the PDP candidate says that Peter Obi is the cause of the problem that he lost major vote in some states. And I pondered and I asked, you've been seeking election from God knows when. Aren't you tired? You've been aspiring every blessed 4 years. And I believe probably has traveled to Dubai and is preparing to come back in the next 4 years. And then the People Democratic Party too will, quickly.
How can he travel when he has?
Yes, so People Democratic Party will just say, "Oh, Daddy's back," and then hurry up and give him the ticket with the dollars, and then paid everybody off. Come and contest again in the next 4 years. So I keep asking a question: we have young people, vibrant people in this country. What exactly is going on that opportunities are not available for them to strive? Must we always have these same people recycling upon recycling from 1999 to date? So Peter Obi, come on, we are proud of him. In barely 1 year, have you checked the record? a mechanic, that a truck driver, in quote, who never could believe, nobody could believe that such an opportunity should have been available for him. There he is today. And then barely 9 months, it's about 71, both House of Reps and Senate.
Yeah,
That's a huge feat.
I would say, yeah, Labour Party has really turned the narrative around, actually.
And then the governors are also busy begging across the state, begging obedience. We have the video of Kowa's daughter trending on social media.
Yeah. Okay, so
begging obedience. The same obedience that they didn't believe on. So we have now become a force to be reckoned with.
Okay, so we'll take a call and we'll come back to that. Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining the show. Good evening. All right, I don't know if the caller can hear us. Please drop a call and call us back. The numbers are on the screen, so you can feel free to put a call across to us or send us a WhatsApp message or a text message. We're coming back to you.
So you see, the dynamics, the political dynamics is gradually shifting. And then I quite agree that, African fathers, for them to say sorry is a big problem. They have a way of saying sorry.
This thing about Labour Party coming in to sweep, especially the National Assembly, and of course some like grab, I would say, a higher percentage of the seats in Nigeria. Recently, we have a tussle of who is going for the position of the governorship in Labour Party in Port Harcourt. We'll have Hubo Beatrice, we'll also have Prince Will, and they're trying to find out who is going to contest finally.
You see, it's an interesting game, because if Peter Obi never came on board, most of them struggling now who probably wouldn't have joined the party.
Okay,
but we are proud of the progress that the party is making because of Peter Obi. As the dynamics, the political system is gradually, changing. The narrative is gradually changing. So whatever happened, every party usually undergoes some little political rattling and all of that. But I expect them to, at this point, we have just barely 4 days or thereabout. This is the time to put your house in order.
Okay, just a moment, sir, before we get to that. Sorry, I'll be interrupting my second call. Hello, good evening. Good evening. I'm sorry we lost that call. Okay, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Tell us your name
Hello?
and where you're calling us from.
Good evening.
Good evening, we can hear you. Tell us your name and
Hello.
your location. Oh my God, I think we're having network issues.
Yeah.
Please feel free to call us. We're sorry about the network issues, or send us a WhatsApp or text message. Okay, coming back to you, I still have one question. Talking about putting your house in order, I'm not taking that away from you. I have to get back to that, but I'm taking us back to Obasanjo. Yeah, he's clamoring for a rerun of the election.
And he's right.
Yeah, I like to say this is an issue. I would say something playing back again, like something happening again in Nigeria. We had issues like this in the days of Yaradua when Obasanjo, people believed that Obasanjo forced Yaradua on the people. Maybe he was trying to be kind to that family, considering what Yaradua's elder brother, actually did for him. So, don't you think that he's seeing this the other way around now, because he's not in power anymore? I mean, he's looking and he's observing that I don't think this is right. Maybe if he was the one in the position, he wouldn't have seen that this is not right.
Well, the older you become, the better, and the more you see things in more clearer forms. In years to come, Ashiwaju will also see what has happened today as something that shouldn't have happened. Well, in the case of Ashiwaju, I don't know. I always I find it most time difficult talking about him, because he's.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but quite okay.
Hello, good evening. I think we're really having network issues. Yeah. I'm sorry if we can't take your call. Please just keep trying. The number is on your screen, and when you call us, turn down the volume of your TV set. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Wow. So we're having people dropping calls. I don't know what's happening.
Yes,
We're sorry
yes,
about that.
network challenges.
Yeah, I think so. Well, back to you.
Okay, so with all respect, as you know, a man who has paid his dues
Yeah.
to the nation development, I respect Siwaju on that regard. But when it comes to the issue of governance, I don't see it. It doesn't correlate with today, 21st century leadership strategy. Because for me, I believe they should be focusing on how the nation can grow. We are about how many years now? We are 60 something. If I get it correct. If we look back from time, we are still not getting it right. So for me, our leadership selection and criteria must be looked at very critically from all stride, right? Whatever, if Ashuraju want to earn the His Excellency title, like Peter B said, the process that produced him
Should have been excellent.
should have been excellent. So for me, whatever produced him, I wouldn't give such process the needed honor, okay? Because the will of the people was completely put to shame. So what then do we say that on Saturday the INEC will give us the needed our vote, and I will tell you there's going to be a low vote turnout in some state, but then some states are prepared to go out to vote. Just like I told you last week, young people are prepared to prove a point. And we did talk about what's going on currently in Rivers State, and I said to a friend of mine a couple of minutes ago, I said, Mwike would have Governor Mwike would have ended up a hero in this nation if he didn't dabble into some political gimmicks that he did. He would have ended up a political hero in this country. But is that quite sad? And then let's see how that would turn out on Saturday if definitely we let succeed in finding a successor. So, but then I know that it's going to be a tough battle for him on Saturday.
Okay, we have a comment coming in from WhatsApp. Shitu Abdul Salam from Taraba State says presidential election is done and dusted, and in any election there must be winners and losers. Obi and Atiku have lost out in the most explicit election testified by the foreign and indigenous observers. We are begging them and their supporters to eschew their grievances, to accept defeat, to allow the country move forward.
So I'm wondering the international community that say that to him, because to my best knowledge, most of the international communities observers did say clearly that the election they're producing is the foundation is faulty. So I'm wondering where he is saying that from. But I quite agree that there's usually going to be a loser and a winner. But then we are concerned about the process that produce a failure and the process that produce.
Let's take a call. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, tell us your name and where you're calling from. Welcome to the show.
I'm Friday. I'm calling from Mexico.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
My contribution concerning this past presidential election is that it is high time we learn how to beat the right thing at the right time. Because for the Beavers, I have a strong feeling that through the Beavers, the election will not be ruined. But it is so unfortunate that the election was ruined and it's not transparent at all. I traveled from a state to my state because of the election. And many people did the same thing. But for the effort to be weighed, it's not encouraging. I believe that because of this now, many people does not have the encouragement to go for the governorship or the House of Assembly that is coming up this coming Saturday to vote. But I'm still urging many of us to go and vote in order for us to choose the right leader. Because this country is not for one person, it's for all of us. There is no tribe that does not have the same rights as any other one. For someone to say that it is my time, if the country is turn by turn or a family inheritance, they will let us know. It's not a family inheritance. And we, the masses, or the individual of this country, have choose who we want. But in order for the other people to be giving us the person we don't want, it doesn't make sense. It's not that we do not like Afuwaju Tinubu, but what we are after is that we need a young person. All people have been really lost, and we are still getting the same result repeatedly. I think you are getting what I'm trying to say. We are still getting the same result repeatedly. So let us use another person that is more younger, more vibrant, more intellectual to rule this country.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. Okay, so coming back to you, our time is far spent. I'd like us to, dive a little bit into the conference, the just concluded conference that Labour Party had.
Yes, the conference was well spelled out. We decided to send a clear message to the people of Akwa Ibom State and the authorities that the just concluded election was marred by irregularities. The INEC, the IRF portal didn't work, didn't transmit by the new electoral law. And however, to us the most annoying part of the whole scenario was our resolve being changed across the state, because what we had across our various polling units did not validate what was submitted or what was a final copy of the INEC. So that indeed is sad, how a politician can go extra mile just to meet. But finally, the most important thing I enjoy in the whole process is that whatever reason that prompted them to do what they did, they have also seen where their candidate is.
I'm talking about that. Before we go into, I'd like to play us a short clip, but before we go there, there are rumors that your party, Labour Party, is endorsing another candidate for the governorship election.
That's a very hard question. Well, you see, the people in the Labour Party, the people who harnessed the structure were never. Peter Obi movement wasn't a party affairs, in quote. The movement was cut across all party lines. So they came together for a cause, to chart a course, and they deliver on that promise. So take note that most of the people have their political origins with their family, friends, their political belief system, and they are likely going to switch background or switch political support to who they believe validate their ideals.
That hasn't answered my question. Is your party supporting or of course, if your party decides to take rights for another governorship candidate, that means your governorship candidate in the person of Oduarabon Peter Odo doesn't stand a chance.
Labour Party has not adopted or decides to merge with any political party. Okay. But the reverse is the case. Support groups have their freedom of choice to adopt.
That has answered my question. All right, so I'd just like us to go through a video where we had some of the things that, of course, INEC had already cleared the air about, that this kind of issues were not supposed to be allowed. For example, the use of religious places, and masquerades, and the use of public facilities for campaign. But we're having the reverse being the case in PDP. Okay, we've seen footages where we're having the PDP use
virtually all
the
cross-party, we're conversing in the malls, in the church. So if they want to put a stop, it must be across all party that must obey the simple rules and regulation regarding electoral guidelines. So virtually all the party were at fault. Most of the imams were doing the same thing. The pastors were doing the same thing in the church. So who do we hold accountable in this case?
Okay, so we're seeing footages like this, and this is happening in a church.
Yeah, it's specifically, like I said earlier, it's I think they do have their citizens outside the church. Pastor personified in quote, they have right to educate their citizens or their members.
But do you think this should have been done in a church?
If it's not done in the church where the fellowship and where is pastors, where else will it be done? So the same way an imam has a right to tell the members of those who fellowship with him, this is the time of election. So these are the political parties. So civil responsibilities.
Okay.
So
when you say these are the political parties, you're free to vote for anyone. We're seeing footages where PDP says this is PDP, this is PDP logo, and this is where you have to vote.
Well, I don't want us to make it a case like in PDP subject matter, because in this particular issue, it was virtually all political parties were involved.
Okay.
So, but then the question is, what law is surrounding this?
Okay.
Is it allowed? If it's not allowed, have there been enough public awareness that the church or the mosques should not be used as a platform to, do political awareness? Because in most cases, it usually end up in one thing, ethnic political system kind of education.
Okay, let's just take a call. One of the last calls before we go. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah,
This pastor is the rest of the calling again.
All right, go ahead in a few seconds.
What you are arguing now about campaigning in the church.
Yes.
It's just like the jingles we have on the TV stations or radio stations. You are free to come out with your jingles and then inform the electorate about your own party.
Okay.
It depends on the church or the mosque. If they allow you to come in and do that, fine, because it was said that everybody should sensitize their people, either in the villages, wherever. So wherever any party went to campaign is not the issue.
Okay.
Because everybody is selling her food or her own product. So I don't see anything in that that has been done there.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so for a country that is going to be 63 this year, your last question, what advice do you have for the people? And of course, Saturday is already around the corner. I wish we could have this conversation again.
At 63, it called for thorough evaluation of what we've done right, both from a religious perspective,
in a few seconds,
and in secular perspective and political perspective. So let's see how we can put it right, at least for once. And then for elections, we should have appropriate security to guide people.
So a little bit into the issue, reports that INEC is asking the court to reconfigure beavers for March 11th election. Doesn't that mean there's going to be a tamper in the already existing data that had something to do with the presidential election?
Of course. So if the Hello Chamber is very wise and knowledgeable, which they are, they should not listen to such.
So we should do card reader.
We should proceed with.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I wish this conversation can go on and on, but because of time, thank you so much to our viewers. Thank you to our callers who found time to be a part of the conversation. Thank you to the people who sent text messages and WhatsApp messages. And we apologize for not being able to take your calls. And for those of us that had network issues, we apologize. But this program is still going to be on throughout the weekdays except Fridays and the weekends as well. So we'll have the conversation again tomorrow, Wednesday, and of course Thursday. So don't go anywhere. Thank you, Mr. Bernard, for being a part of this conversation today.
Thank you so much, Maya.
All right. My name is Rachel White. Feel free to join us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of course, you can find out on spectrumtv.ng. Good evening. See you tomorrow.